a slow start, and their supporters are expecting a great deal in the week ahead. They have a midweek match, so 3 games coming really quickly for Will Still's side. This is one of 3 12:30 kickoffs. Gary Rowett's team, Oxford, are at home to one of his old sides, Derby County. Another one of his old teams, Millwall, head across London to face Queen's Park Rangers. All those games getting underway in a few minutes' time. Well, they've had to digest the news that Ross Stewart, who picked up an injury in the last game, has been ruled out for the rest of 2025, so it's a rejigged attack today for Southampton. Cameron Archer coming to the starting lineup. Bring you the full team news in a few minutes' time. Swansea City come here on the back of a defeat against Leicester a fortnight ago. hoping that things are going to start to change here at St Mary's, and change quick. They've been able to cheer just one home league win in 2025 so far, and if it doesn't improve soon, then thoughts of an immediate return to the Premier League may have to go on the back burner. So opportunities today for Swansea City. Alongside me, David Phillips. October, and we see Southampton beginning the day in 17th place. I don't think any of us saw that at the start of the season.
Oh, good afternoon everyone, and yes, absolutely right. Certainly underachieving this year, and Southampton fans will not be particularly happy the way they've gone about their business. Just the 11 points, just 2 games that they've won, opening game against Wrexham and then against Sheffield United, but when you look at their home form, that is where normally at St Mary's they're normally winning games, but only 5 points from the 4 fixtures so far. But the thing for me, Guy, is that they've only scored 4 goals, 4 different goal scorers, and that has to go and change very, very soon.
There has been a lack of cutting edge. They've created opportunities, but they just haven't been able to find the back of the net. As you say, too many draws. And for Swansea, well, a big revamp, wasn't it, during the summer, but I think they're pleased with the way things are going. It's just beginning to bed some of the players in.
Yes, they are, but when you look at their current form, they've only had 1 win in their last 5, so I'm sure they're with Alan Sheehan will be looking to try and get some more points very, very quickly. They've got 7 games coming up in the next 21 days, but again, when you look at their away form, they don't score many goals. 4 different goal scorers. And today, I was looking at the last 4 meetings, 17 goals between them in the last 4. But you just wonder today, where are they going to come from? But I think with Alan Sheehan, as you're right to say, they've got a young group coming in. They've had to rest players because of international duty. But I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be an exciting game.
Well, certainly it's a game you feel that Southampton will have to be on the front foot, and they'll be looking to register quite a few points in the next few days. They go to Bristol City on Tuesday. And then another away game for them at Blackburn Rovers on the Saturday. There is Adam Lallana, part of the coaching staff under Will Still, was playing this time last year, going through that tortuous season that they had in the Premier League. Just after the 1 home win that they had against Everton at about November time. Armstrong was the scorer on that occasion, but it was a season to forget really, and the hope was that they would hit the ground running here in the Championship, but it just hasn't happened so far. These two sides last met here in the Championship less than 2 years ago. Russell Martin, having swapped South Wales for Southampton, led the Saints to a crushing win over Swansea on their way to the Premier League. So much water has passed along the Solent since then, and through Glasgow's River Clyde as well. Southampton are back where they started. In fact, they're behind where they were. 17th now in the table, after a string of draws leaves the latest boss, Will Still, frustrated by just a couple of league wins in his first season. Boss Will Still knows he's going to be without the physicality of Ross Stewart for the rest of the calendar year, so he's had to alter his attacking balance today. Jordan Archer comes in to support Adam Armstrong and Leo Chienza. 4 changes from the draw at Derby a fortnight ago, with Taylor Harwood-Bellis coming in from the cold to replace the injured Joshua Kwashi. Elias Yellert starts his first league game since his summer loan from Galatasaray. Ji Song-um had a busy international window with South Korea, and that will have been in Alan Sheehan's thinking as he's rested to the bench for this one. This opens the door for Zidane Inusa. The only other change from the defeat at home to Leicester sees a refreshed Ethan Galbraith, hoping to continue his smooth elevation from League One to the Championship. Liam Cullen drops down to the bench. We've mentioned a lack of cutting edge, but this man has at least been among the goals for Southampton this season.
Well, he has, and 3 goals in his last 4, and truth be told, he should have had 4 out of 4 because of the penalty miss against Sheffield United. But The Championship really suits Adam Armstrong. I was looking at his stats for Blackburn and Southampton, and he's got a 1 in 2.5 average, which is really good for the Championship. And he's got a lot on his plate now, especially with Ross Stewart being injured and out until the beginning of the new year. Well, this is a player everyone's talking about at the moment, and I'm hearing a lot of good things from Alan Shearer, and he's hoping that he's going to be able to keep hold of him. He's risen up from Leyton Orient. He's versatile, he's very excellent. He had a fantastic game against Germany just recently, where they just lost by the odd goal. But I see a lot of good things happening for Ethan Galbraith, still only 24 years of age.
Josh Smith is our referee. He was here in August, actually sent off a Stoke player. Southampton still, though, went on to lose that game by 2-1. Well, it's Swansea to get us underway. Home supporters have had not too much to cheer about at St Mary's, but the stars might just be aligned for them today. Only 2 victories in 2025 here have been against Welsh opposition. Wrexham in August in the Championship, and then back to January, the FA Cup, they beat Swansea City 3-0. Early touch for the returning Wellington, the Brazilian who's missed out in recent weeks due to an ankle injury. Started the first 3 games, but it has been a stop-start time for him in English football. Nusa for Swansea City. The 2 changes for them today after their defeat at home to Leicester a fortnight ago. They've been by a couple of worldies from Leicester City on that occasion. Got the game to 1-1, but in the end came away with nothing. Will Steele has spoken about the team maybe having to toughen up a little bit mentally, not feel sorry for themselves, not to lose confidence when things don't go their way, stop making excuses. Really interesting to see just how they start today.
Well, the main thing is that you've got Karen Archer and Adam Armstrong playing up top alongside each other.
Yander rests his play on. This is Armstrong going for goal. Down the throat of Vigaroo.
I like the fact that the referee Josh Smith had allowed his matches to be played, and when the ball does come to Adam Armstrong, he wants to go onto his right hand side, but then just pulls it back onto the left. Doesn't really get enough purchase on the shot. You can see Lawrence Vigaroo quite comfortable with that save.
Win in 8 games for Southampton, not quite a crisis. Could spin it another way and say it's just 2 defeats in 8, but it's the draws that really are stunting their return to the Championship. Another a fortnight ago against Derby County. Marwood Bellis back in the starting lineup today. He was dropped in recent times. Stevens is back on the bench, the club captain. Another one who was ousted. This is Edwards. Armstrong. She was the little dummy that allowed some space for Armstrong. Yellowed getting forward, his first start for the club in the league, and gets himself into the penalty area, but Swansea try and get it clear with Yunusa. Wins the free kick.
Well, the one thing that they do lack on top at this moment in time, Southampton, is a little bit of height between Karen Archer and Adam Armstrong. But good to see that Shay Charles there, sometimes plays as a holding midfielder, getting himself into the box. Jens is going to have a very important role as well, but you can see there's a lot of rotation going in that midfield area at this moment in time.
Wellington wins the header. She ends up. of age of 33. Fabian Ursula is younger in terms of top 2 divisions, but he's a man who needs a win here today. Been pleased with aspects of their performance, but he's been very honest about where they have fallen short. It's been in the key areas, their penalty area and the opposition's penalty area as well. They've let in some cheap goals and just not converted good chances. Some defending to do here as Swansea sweep down this right-hand side, and not particularly good pass for Inusa. Just above the Saints at the moment. Second successive game for them against a team who've come down from the Premier League. That defeat at home to Leicester City. Should be playing a team in the Premier League at the end of this month when they face Manchester City in the next round of the Carabao Cup. It's a good run in that.
Already disposed of some far as well, haven't they? A couple of late goals there.
This is Yellert. Archer makes the run for him. Back to Ronnie Edwards. Strange to see the number 9 there, Archer. Armstrong picking it up so deep. Just biding his time at the moment in centre field. With the attempted diagonal, the former Swansea man, of course. He has memories, not particularly good memories, you have to say, of St Mary's. He was here with Nathan Jones as his assistant. The previous Premier League campaign that arrived in November and departed in February. The interim coach when they last came here, Swansea in the Championship were hammered 5-0 Boxing Day by Russell Martin's side. Shea Charles. Yellert has waited for his opportunity. The manager in his press conference really was hinting, I think, that Yellert was going to start. He said that he deserves a better chance than he's had so far. He did play in the League Cup game at Anfield against Liverpool. Wood gets a touch on it. Archer. Battle with Key over on that far side in front of the dugouts.
Yeah, you can see at times when Swansea are going forward, the amount of players that Southampton have behind the ball. Let's talk about the 3 centre-halves of Howard, Ellis, Wood and Edwards, but also the 2 wing-backs of Yellert and Wellington as well. If back 5 is very difficult, especially if Botnick is going to be isolated. You can see at times that Galbraith is getting himself a little bit closer.
Wins the free kick just short of the halfway line. Josh Key and he going head to head once more. Edwards. Yellert. Armstrong has peeled wide and won the corner.
Yeah, that's always the one thing with Adam Armstrong playing recently. He generally likes to play over on the left-hand side and then tucking onto his right foot. This time just going down the right channel. It's very important that they get bodied runners coming from that midfield area to go and support Archer in the heart of that Swansea 18-yard box.
So it's the Brazilian Chienza to take this corner. Only made his full debut against Derby County in the last match, but starts again here today. Yander waits on the edge of the penalty area. Wood is eager for good delivery as well. It was Harwood Bellis who, not for the first time, wins a header in the penalty area, but unable to really direct that underneath the crossbar.
they could have just maybe moved from the 18-yard box on towards the ball, but you can see that it's coming back. Very difficult to get a lot of power and purchase on the header. Well defended by Swansea.
Such is the life of a footballer. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's been unused sub for the last 3 matches in the Championship. The year that he got capped by England. This is Shea Charles opening up for him. Charles still going. Just went the wrong side of the goalkeeper, but it was a good burst from midfield from Shea Charles.
But once again, you can see with Swansea, he just gave the ball away far too cheaply. Shea Charles, yes, manoeuvring that ball from left to right, and then eventually the angle was far too acute. Turning around and saying, well, you need to knock that one across the goalkeeper. You can see there, he was just stretching at the end.
Southampton goal has come in the League Cup earlier this season, still to score in the Championship. Obviously he was on loan last season at Sheffield Wednesday, did a really good job for them. Franco has given away a free kick here on Charles. Charles, one of those players who were involved in the internationals during the window. Man of the match, in fact, for Northern Ireland against Slovakia, and then played in the game against Germany that the Irish narrowly lost by a goal to nil. Burgess. Now there's the target. Wellington got a head on it, but it breaks, and this is Vipotnik. Inusa. And Swansea now have a corner.
Well, good movement from Swansea going forward there. I just thought, great opportunity for Inusa when he just got down the outside of Yellen, just to hammer that ball towards goal rather than trying to just pull that back.
Oh, big Cameron Burgess with hands on hips at the moment, number 15. Being protected by his teammates. He will be one of the key players here from a Swansea point of view. Bit of wind on the south coast this afternoon. It's a really deep one. Shienza won the header but then loses out subsequently, and Swansea have it again. Stamanic. Makes himself available for the pass from his goalkeeper. One of the summer arrivals from Nottingham Forest for a reported fee of around about £2 million. New Zealand international. He's been a key player for Swansea in recent times at the base of that midfield.
And again, he's another one who's away on international duty.
Inusa plays it first time across the penalty area, and now was arriving but not quickly enough, but the flag had gone up anyway.
Well, it's a nice ball into the path of Inusa, but he's really got to be looking along the line. Gesticulating to the official on the far side as if to say no he wasn't, but when you have a little look, he's looking along the line, and then eventually when he goes, yes it is very tight, but the linesman on the far side is in an excellent position to see that.
With the header. Archer is brought down. Stamanic trying to prevent Archer going forward as well. Afternoon for Cameron Archer, who's started I think just 2 games so far this season under the new manager in the Championship. Will Steele has spoken about how big his squad is. I get the impression at times it's almost too big for him. He spoke about the problems he's had leaving seasoned pros out, even of the matchday squad, and having to have those awkward conversations. This is Charles.
Sometimes it is difficult when you have seasoned pros, as you're right to say that A, they're not starting, or B, they're not in the squad, but it's how you actually manage them. But in respect of Cameron Archer, we know that he's been on loan on a couple of places, and that's at North End and Borough and Sheffield United just recently. But when you have somebody like Ross Stewart, who's going to be the main focal point up front, starting, and then with Adam Armstrong on one side, and you think that Archer might possibly go on the opposite side, but he now has this opportunity, especially with Ross Stewart being out for quite some time, to go and stamp his authority and say to Will Steele, I'm here for you. But yet, just the 2 goals so far in the season, but it's still very young, isn't it?
Such a blow to lose Ross Stewart. He was just starting to get some real match fitness. He actually played 3 games on the trot. Scored a couple of goals at Bramall Lane, and everything was looking good. Will Steele was asked about why he played 3 successive matches, bearing in mind his injury record. He just said he wanted the continuity, and it was something they did look at as the ball is swung into the area. Archer can't get there. Chienza couldn't either. Possible counter-attack now for Swansea City. Inusa over halfway, but Southampton have got bodies behind the ball quickly. Galbraith. Does really well there, bit of space to run into. Wood thinks about coming across. Inusa onto the right foot, and Wood does really well. He sensed that his opponent was going to go that way, and he was there to block it, the former Swansea man. Inusa has been a good outlet for Swansea in the opening 17 minutes.
The Potnick so far in the opening 18 minutes, and I think as a striker he's been a little bit more service than what he had, but just 3 touches on the ball just shows how well that Southampton so far have dealt with him. He is a very impressive player. Scored 6 goals so far in the season. So he's been in international, been on international duty, just 2 sub appearances, but those players that if you get in and around him, there you go, goes a little bit deeper to go and receive that ball, but he's always going to be a threat.
So it's the target again. Time on finds him. Running at Edwards. On getting himself forward, and into the area it goes. Wellington with the header away. Key is there. Now it's Franco. Potnick is having his shirt pulled inside the penalty area. Desperately trying to keep an eye on that and the ball. Virtually impossible. Samanic goes down, wants the free kick. Swansea have the ball. They don't have it now. This is Armstrong. Archer. Yellert getting forward. Not the best of headers. Bango's there again, and Armstrong will turn and shoot. Got a slight nick, and behind it goes for a corner.
And this is really where Adam Armstrong thrives, inside of the 18-yard box, and you can see there's the early ball from Yellert. Armstrong was asking for the ball towards the far post, not being dealt with really properly by Ben Cabango. see with Adam Armstrong just swivels onto his left-hand side. An important touch from Josh Key for a corner.
Nearly 20 minutes gone. Deep to the back post and Edwards with the header. Burgess puts it behind for another corner for the home side.
Obviously seeing there's a little bit of a frailty towards the far post. Edwards up against Timon at the far post and another header, another corner. They've got height, haven't they? Especially with the three centre-halves coming up.
Chienza with the delivery. It's a loopy one to the back post once more. Harwood Bella's got something on it. And the shot is blocked and Swansea get it clear. Iannusa tried to make something of it, but back into the penalty area it goes, and well, it was Wood. Got a touch, but not much of one, and Vigaroo gets it clear really quickly. Galbraith, options to his right-hand side. Ronald. Key is overlapping. This is Franco. Here is Key. Two in the penalty area at the moment for Swansea. Plenty of Southampton defenders now coming out of the penalty area as Swansea momentarily go backwards. First touch, but the second one wasn't particularly good, but it might break for Franco, but instead it's Yanda who comes clear. Archer. Charles. Archer again. Archer going for goal! Well, he's desperate to score here on his return to the starting lineup. Oh, he's only for one thing there, Cameron Archer.
But it's a nice flighted ball, wasn't it, from Yanda into the path of Archer. Not the greatest of first touches, but you can see there with Shea Charles, backs him up very, very quickly. And then the ball comes back to Archer, one-on-one against Cabango. And then just blazes that ball past the post. So that's how quick they can go in transition, Southampton.
Won it and got rid of it quickly. Galbraith. Iannusa made the run and then checked it, knowing that he was offside. Stamanic. Runners over on that far side, including Key, who he handled it, but I think the ball had gone behind anyway.
You know, that's one thing that you don't really want to allow for a Southampton player who's given a time and space for Marco Stamanic. So that he's a good player. It's very strange that he goes to Nottingham Forest, doesn't make an appearance, then goes out on loan at Olympiacos. We know all that's to do with Marinakis, who's the chairman of Nottingham Forest, and then comes back into Swansea. But good player. He just recently started against Norway, just in a friendly international. 23 years of age, but I like the way he goes about his business. But the other person I've been very impressed with Swansea so far is Iannusa on this near side. Good feet, very, very quick, sharp. Sees a good ball as well. Quite like him.
Maybe only starting today because Ji Song-um did a lot of travelling during the international window, playing for South Korea. Actually scored against Paraguay. Then sat on the bench for a game against Brazil and probably was grateful that he did because they were well up 5-0. Vigaroo leaving it to the last minute before delivering it towards the halfway line.
Well, we said before, I said about the amount of goals they scored between the two sides in the last 4 games, but I don't think the goalkeeper's had a save to make yet. That's the disappointing thing, is that both sides have got themselves into good areas in the final third, but to make the goalkeeper work so far.
A lot has been spoken about the lack of confidence, particularly here at St Mary's for Southampton. Eating into the results really at the start of this new campaign. It's easy to just look at a team being relegated from the Premier League with all the benefits that they have and expect them to hit the ground running. But it doesn't always happen. Did really well there, stretching, getting good contact on it as well. Musa was away behind him, hoping that he wouldn't.
You know, they started the season off well, albeit that they scored 2 injury time winners against Wrexham. Then they got a draw in the next game, so you think 4 points?
Chienza. They feed it out to that far side to the fullback Wellington, who got forward. Here is the Brazilian. Charles wins the header. Wellington sort of gave the game away by putting his hands up as if to say I didn't foul him, but he's given away a free kick. I mean, you just got to look at the form really that they've been through, and Will Still has mentioned the fact that he is sort of inheriting a lot of problems from last year, a lack of confidence, and they're in the middle of a run, a 3-match unbeaten run, which is the longest they've had since Russell Martin was here in April 2024. And last season, the longest unbeaten run they had in the Premier League was 1 game. So you can sort of understand that he has got a lot to build on really, and the foundations weren't particularly solid. And he used the phrase before kick-off when he did an interview about, I found more stones unturned than I expected, which was quite sort of mysterious.
But also you have to understand as well that the fans of St Mary's have got to be very, very patient, and they have been very patient, haven't they?
Yes, they have. It was sort of famine and feast, wasn't it, with that promotion the year before. Beating Leeds United eventually at Wembley in the playoff final after what had been a previously hugely disappointing season in the Premier League.
Was it Adam Armstrong who scored that goal?
It was. Well, they're in need of a goal at the moment. They will not want to draw yet another game. The team has drawn more matches in the Championship than Southampton so far this season.
You know, and the thing is as well, guys, that if Southampton do beat Swansea today, they actually go above Swansea. So they'll go into, what, 12th place? They'll be climbing the table. And as you're right to say, just unbeaten in their last 3. That should give them some confidence.
Bellis. Nice ball to Chienza. Armstrong wants it in the penalty area. Archer as well. Chienza towards the near post, but too close to the goalkeeper.
But you can see when Chienza gets the hold of the ball, there's 2 Southampton players inside of the 18-yard box. 7 Swansea players, or 8 if you include the goalkeeper. So you'd have to say, well, Southampton going forward, they need to bring some more players into that 18-yard box. But you have to commend Swansea and their work rate of getting themselves behind the ball.
It's also the height as well, isn't it, of Armstrong and Archer, who were inside the penalty area. You can't expect them to win too many headers against that Swansea back line from crosses.
You know, a lot of the damage that they will do is anything chest high and below, just in and around the area, just outside the area. But you can see how sharp that Archer and Armstrong are inside of the 18-yard box. With respect to Swansea so far going forward, there's not really that much of a threat so far.
In recent months, integrating all the new players. He lost a lot of experience during the summer. 16 and 17 out, he was saying. It's a young group, he has to create something new. Yeller. And Armstrong.
Yeah, and that's where Adam Armstrong is so good. Doesn't matter whether it's right side or left side. But again, good movements from Yeller to the path of Armstrong. Just swivels once again. Stretched the leg there of Cameron Burgess. And it just goes wide. But you mentioned about Alan Sheehan, and I was listening to his conference, and he was saying about the amount of work that he's had to do with individuals this last week or so because of players being away on international duty. He said some of the players not quite sure what time zone they're in. So I presume he's on about Eon as well. But it is hard, especially when you have so many players going away on international duty.
Armstrong. She ends up. Oh, it's hit the post and then it's missed by Archer from just 5 yards out. What a golden opportunity. And that just sums up Southampton in recent weeks. Unable to create chances and finish them as well.
Well, Sienza does really well. Wellington diverted the opportunity to go down the outside, comes inside, plays off the post, and all he's got to do is make half a decent contact. The pace is on the ball coming off the post, and why he tries to hammer that ball in, I'm not quite so sure. But let's be a lesson there for Josh Key. I know that he's got to go and follow Wellington, but allows Sienza to come inside. I'm not sure that Vigouroux saw that a little bit too late, but really that's a golden opportunity for Cameron Archer.
Well, the best chance of the game by some distance. Just said that they have to stop feeling sorry for themselves. They can't think, here we go again. They would love the feel of a 1-0 lead here at home in front of their supporters. Armstrong getting it forward. Inadvertently, you feel to Archer. It's worked out really well. This is Charles. Archer makes the run inside left, but Charles was swivelling his head to the other way. Was dispossessed as he dallied.
Yeah, good intervention from Carlo Franco there.
Ronald running at Harwood Bellis, sticks to the task.
Well, this is a golden opportunity, isn't it, for Archer? You can see the good movement from Wellington going down the outside. But again, you look at the amount of Swansea players inside of that 18-yard box. Nobody comes close enough to Sienza. I think Vigouroux sees it a little bit too late. I just wonder with Archer, is he just stretching it? He hasn't got his body angle properly right. But really, that is a tap-in if he gets his body sorted out.
The first long throw of the afternoon for Swansea. Behind it goes off a Swansea head. I think they felt that it was possibly Ronnie Edwards who got the last touch. Doesn't really matter now because Southampton have taken that goal kick really quickly. Chienda gives the ball away, wins it back, gives it away again. Give Swansea players edge of the penalty area. It wasn't the best of balls in, and Harwood Bellis had a simple header. Archer looks determined, doesn't he, to right the wrongs of that missed opportunity a few moments ago. Samanic picking up the first yellow card of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's an easy yellow card to give away as well, isn't it? Right in front of Josh Smith, today's referee. I think it has to make that foul as well because Archer just got the other side, and good movement from Adam Armstrong to the right-hand channel.
club captain Jack Stevens back on the bench today after not even being in the matchday squad. Adam Armstrong incidentally is the man with the captain's armband at the moment, as he was in the last game at Derby County.
Jack Stevens has been here some time now, isn't he? Southampton.
2011 he arrived with a massive sum of £150,000 from Plymouth Argyle. Edwards, Yellert, Yander, Kienza. H was there to put it out for a throw-in. Good burst of pace, nice acceleration from the Brazilian, who's looked lively for them.
He's neat and tidy, isn't he? Leo Cienza. To play off to the left-hand side. Sometimes he does go and play in as a number 10. I think with the shape that they've got today, they're getting a little bit of a licence with Captain Yander as well. Nice to see Shea Charles making those maraudering runs in. As I mentioned before, the work rate of Swansea City going back towards their own 18-yard box is very affordable.
Long downfield. Your money's going to be on a Swansea player to win that header. That was the case, and back it comes to the experienced Alex McCarthy, 35 years of age. Southampton number 1 again after taking the gloves from Gavin Bazunu in recent times. Ronald.
I'm not quite sure about that one with Wellington, but even so, he's trying to say to the official on the far side that I never touched him, but you don't have to get that tight. He's not going anywhere. It's run out. Quick little look. There you go. It's a push in the back. It's an easy free kick. Not quite sure why he has to go and do that. Now puts his side under a little bit of pressure.
And Simon are the two players over it. Burgess just in discussion with a teammate about how they're going to react to this delivery. Franco is there as well. Opportunity maybe for Swansea City. Game goalless at the moment. In towards the near post, Stamanic with the flick header that it was on target. McCarthy wasn't taking any chances.
Well, it wasn't a clean header, was it, from Stamanic? I think came partially off his back as well, but it seemed as if it's a free kick, or is it offside? But even so, McCarthy still had to tap that ball over. You see that free kick coming in from Timon. Comes off his back, doesn't it? I just wonder whether or not it was the challenge from Vipotnik on McCarthy. I'm not quite so sure.
Well, it's the captain, Ben Kabanga, who's allowed to have a chat with the referee, and people running away, muttering under his breath, I think. Swansea looking to press here, high up the field, as Southampton knit something together. Yander finding Armstrong. We're about passing it, then realised there was a lot of space in front of him. He's taken the ball 20-30 yards forward. Yeller. Yander again. Shea Charles with the ball in looking for Archer. He didn't do particularly well there in dealing with that, and Chienza will try some magic, and he's successful with a little nutmeg. Chienza in towards Armstrong, couldn't get the contact on it, And another presentable opportunity for Southampton disappears. Wonderful skill again from the Brazilian over on that far side. Nathan Wood, just get the ball to him seems to be the order of the day. Wellington into the area. Swansea get it clear, and there's considerable noise now inside St Mary's that has been relatively subdued in this first half.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities there, wasn't it, for the home side?
Yanda. Yellert makes the run, he's found some space as well. In towards Armstrong with the turn and shots. Well, most of the good work has come to Armstrong. He's had some efforts, but hasn't really been able to work Vigaroo on this occasion anyway.
Well, you'd have to say it's a good last 3 minutes here for the home side. I'm sure that Armstrong has given another opportunity like that, put a bit more pace on the ball.
Wellington, will he get there? He will, towards Armstrong, but the header was Burgess for Swansea. Armstrong had just peeled away from his defender there, so if he could have got the ball over Burgess, then Armstrong would have had just the goalkeeper to beat.
Make sure that the ball that does come into the box has got to be absolutely pinpoint. Two centre halves in Cabango and Cameron Burgess especially.
Genza, lovely skill again. Can he pick someone out on this occasion? Oh, Armstrong, how has he missed that? Well, he's causing all sorts of problems at the moment, Leo Chienza. But Southampton just cannot put this ball in the back of the net. Adam Armstrong missing the latest opportunity.
Again, this is great skill, isn't it, from Cienza. Gets himself in towards the byline once again. I think it's just that touch, isn't it, from Vigaroo, which just really puts off the movement going in towards Adam Armstrong, but really should be a little bit more proactive. And that's two great opportunities they've had just recently, but Cienza, I'll tell you what, he's at the thick of it.
Yeah, it was a lot harder, wasn't it, for Adam Armstrong than maybe it looked on first viewing. It made it difficult for him to react. This has been a terrific showing from Leo Chienza today for Southampton. The manager giving him his first start here at St Mary's in the Championship. He hasn't disappointed, has he? Missed out, lost a key attacking player during the summer when Tyler Dibbling went off to Everton. Someone who could create a bit of magic out on the flanks. He is the man who has been brought in to replace Dibbling. And here he goes again, the Brazilian. They get a goal just before half-time, but he's got a free kick. And he's causing all sorts of problems. Cabango had to come across because Josh Key really has his hands full. Going to be a yellow card.
Well, there you can see the frustration from Ben Cabango, as if to say to the referee, I got a piece of that ball, I'm not quite so sure myself. Josh Smith, the referee, in a great position. And at this moment in time, you have to say that Southampton, and especially Leo Cienza, are causing massive problems here. And you'd think that the way things are going, they're going to get the opening goal, but in respect to Swansea City, can they hold out until half-time?
Really strong finish to this first half for Southampton. Can they cap it with a goal?
The one person who likes taking free kicks on the bench, Ryan Manning. A couple of great free kicks, hasn't he, so far? Watford and Wrexham.
Another former Swansea man, there's plenty of them. The Southampton squad. Chienza does go for goal, and it was relatively simple, wasn't it, from Vigaroo. It at least brings a corner, but it was never really going to be threatening our first goal of the afternoon.
No, it wasn't going to go in trouble, Vigouroux, but even so, he's still hitting the target. If you hit the target, you got an opportunity of scoring a goal, and you're right to say, quite comfortable for the Swansea City goalkeeper.
He's everywhere at the moment, isn't he? Around the right-hand side now, looping it into the penalty area. Really good header from Nathan Wood, and that was a smart save from Vigouroux. Well, Southampton will feel they've got to make all this pressure pay. Cienza again. Can he provide the golden moment? Cienza once more. And once more they snaffle it away, Swansea City. They're hanging on here as we head towards half-time. Vigouroux claims it. And he will take as much time as is allowed nowadays.
Well, that's good goalkeeping from Vigouroux. Just takes a little bit of heat off the defensive unit at the moment. But as you're right to say, everything's about Cienza. Good header, you have to say, from Nathan Wood. Straight at the goalkeeper. Anywhere else, that could have been the opening goal.
This has got a horrible look of deja vu for Southampton at the moment. As positive as the last sort of 10-15 minutes has been, it's all about not being able to convert, not being ruthless enough. That has been the mood music around Southampton for a lot of the start of this season. And that's half-time. Well, there's good applause from the home supporters. They'll be pleased with the performance, but disappointed they haven't scored at least one here this afternoon. Adam Armstrong coming close, but closest was Cameron Archer. After the ball had rattled off the post, he failed to convert from a few yards out. Swansea haven't created too many opportunities themselves, and they'll be pleased. It's a half-time scoreline here at St Mary's of Southampton 0, Swansea 0.
defeat the weather. The match abandoned due to the rain. We'll be back with the second T20 on Monday. Crouchy, an encouraging half for Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, it was encouraging, just with the amount of chances. But I think all the chances were created by Chelsea's sloppy play, really. I think they played themselves in, and I already here gets an assist.
Chelsea going to win it?
I do feel that Chelsea will take one of the chances.
From the bench?
Not so sure.
Not so sure. Okay. Goalless as things stand. And as Robbie said, Nottingham Forest have scored just one Premier League goal under Ange Postecoglou. And you can see why today in the finishing on display, which will not please that man. Two of the NFL's best running backs go head-to-head in Sunday night. Bournemouth today. The news yesterday from Glasgow that even though Palace have offered their captain Mark Guéhi a new deal, he has told the club he definitely will.
In recent times, so you have to say the back line, the three centre halves have looked pretty comfortable here this afternoon. With Bellis on his return, Wood, who nearly scored, didn't he, just before half-time, and Ronnie Edwards as well, and Alex McCarthy haven't had too much to do in that Southampton goal, but you feel that may change. Swansea may be a little more expansive, a little more ambitious in the second half.
I think they have as well, because when you look at the two wider players, Inusa started off really, really sharply, didn't he? And then all of a sudden he's gone out of the picture for quite some time. Ronaldo on the right-hand side, again, no real support to Popnik. At times that Ethan Galbraith is trying to get himself to support the big Slovenian international, but at the moment in time you'd have to say that Swansea going forward really have not been effective enough. And I'm sure that's something that Alan Sheehan would be saying to his players, albeit that they've been, I would say, a little bit fortunate at the back. They do, as I said, have been very commendable towards the way that they get themselves back in towards the 18-yard box, but they, for the last, 5 to 10 minutes, I thought that Southampton would have got the opening goal. But really going forward is something that they need to look at, Swansea City, and when you have somebody like Iom on the bench, he can go and change that. Good player, Adam Ida as well. And they might just have to change their shape a little bit, but he's been very impressive, especially for the last 10 to 15 minutes, is Leo Jansen.
Yeah, I want to see him in this second half. I want to see him on the ball. I'm sure all the Southampton supporters will do, as well as us neutrals. He really has shown some wonderful skills in that first half. Leo Chienza, first start here at St Mary's for Southampton. Really got out his boxer tricks, particularly going up to half-time. And I'm sure the talk in the Swansea dressing room at half-time will be how to stop him, because at times he was isolating Josh Key, wasn't he?
Well, he was, and I think sometimes you have to look at Paulo Franco as well, who's playing on the slightly right-hand side if they're playing as a 4-3-3. He's got to go and help him, but at times Josh Key is not helping himself as well, because there's been a couple of occasions where he's actually got himself very, very square. We talk about that nutmeg, and that is because Josh Key got himself square, able to get nutmegged, and then eventually that opportunity came out to Adam Armstrong.
With a header to Potnik, getting a touch, and we highlighted, didn't we, fairly early on in that first half, how few touches he had and how few times we mentioned his name. Not his fault. Just haven't had the service so far. Swansea City's top scorer this season, 6 in League and Cup. Started off with a real bang in August and September. Harwood Bellis. Nice ball infield. Picked up by Archer. Yanda. This is Charles. Does well to stop that going out of play, but Southampton left a little bit exposed here. Inusa. Nathan Wood was coming across and dealing with the threat, and it was some threat at some stage, but well, he's not going to get the free kick, but the referee has stopped the game, so he may be able to get a little bit of treatment.
Well, I thought that was excellent. First and foremost from Inusa. Going just as a yellow. And then he decided that I fancy my chances up against the centre half. But you have to commend Nathan Wood for the turn of pace. To just nick that ball away from Inusa, but he's done himself a little bit of a damage there. Hope that he's okay. They're checking HIA. Good defensive work from Nathan Wood, who had a great opportunity just before half-time to get the opening goal. And as I said, if he'd have put that header anywhere else, that would have probably been in the back of the net, but it went straight down the throat of Vigouroux. A good pace, wasn't it, from Inusa to start off with, and just thought he gave Wood, a few yards, but Wood then came back very, very sharp.
So it looks like he's going to be okay. Will have been at half-time.
Well, I think the way that they went about the business for the last 10 minutes or so would just continue.
This is Armstrong, unable to get any real power on the shot. It was blocked, but it was a really good run, an angle run. Kept himself onside.
I think he would have turned around and said, well, defensively we look nice and strong. They've only had the one opportunity, which caused McCarthy no problems whatsoever. But then when you're going forward, the opportunities they've had 15 attempts on target, or 15 shots in total, but they have to be more ruthless in front of goal because they've had their opportunities with Archer, Armstrong, Sienza as well. And that's why he'll be turning around and say, well, we've got to go and put some of those opportunities into the back of the net.
Kapotnik becomes the third Swansea player to pick up a yellow card in this game. Goes to goalkeeper McCarthy. It goes long. Kenzie. Sienza it was who had the effort there. Lovely ball over the top.
Well, it all starts with the great ball from Yellett to start off with. You can see there with Swansea, it's a decent line but a little bit too high. This allows Sienza to get in behind, but this time it was excellent work from Josh Key just to go over and just put off the Brazilian as he's about to strike. Once again, can't hit the target.
At the moment, Kapotnik, having picked up the yellow card, into showing Charles I think it was.
For me, I don't see anything wrong with that. I know Adam Armstrong is the captain for today for Southampton, but Shea Charles, he had his back turned to Kopnik. No idea where the Swansea centre forward was. It's not as if he actually put his shoulders back towards him. Turned around and said, well, he's just slightly backed into him, but I don't think there's anything untoward there.
Nathan Wood. With Bellis. With Bellis again. Makes a run over on that far side. Ball doesn't come for him. Back he goes over to the touchline. He did get possession of the ball. On loan from Galatasaray. Contract recently, the Swansea keeper Lawrence Vigouroux. Keep him at the club until 2028. First season, well not first season, but his first spell in the Championship with Swansea. He was at Burnley for a time but didn't play. He also began at Tottenham. Made his name though with Leyton Orient. Hoping for a third clean sheet of the season today. Galbraith going forward. Wood does well, just stood there, took the punishment. Talking of punishment, there's a Southampton player down injured, and Stamanic has already picked up a yellow card. Two of the supporters are quickly onto it. Got to be very careful, I think. Stamanic and also Bango as well. But I thought that was a good incisive piece of midfield work there from Ethan Galbraith. As you'd like to say, Nathan Wood just put his body on the line. A bit more promising for Swansea City. But what that was going to give you as well, Guy, was that Southampton so far in all their home games scored all their goals in the second half. That will cheer up the Saints supporters. But 3 of the 4 for Swansea have also been in the second half. So we're hoping. Yeah, the neutrals are hoping there will be a goal in this game. Archer, too eager on that occasion, given away a free kick. Southampton will just have to be careful that all that momentum that they built up prior to half-time doesn't sort of dissipate in the second half and frustration set in. That will be the plan, I'm sure, from the visitors. Well, one thing that we were looking at half-time as well was about Damien Downs, weren't we? We said about Ross Stewart losing his height, but certainly Damien Downs is a tall player, isn't he? 6'4". Damien Downs on the bench as a possible option, I'm sure, should this goal not come for Southampton. Galbraith able to find Inusa. This is Wood. Edwards. Unbeaten run since April 2024. So Martin was still manager in the Championship then. So it is baby steps at the moment for Southampton. That's why a win today will be so big for them. fans, home fans anyway, will get frustrated. Home players will have to take chances. But this is a chance for Swansea City. Hasn't really worked Alex McCarthy so far. Time on to take this corner. Galbraith. Back it goes in. The defenders are still there, and Burge is slightly clumsy on that occasion. Southampton will try and break. They might just do that. She ends a lovely first touch. Tries to pick out Armstrong. Galbraith, who was given a rest in the last game by Alan Sheehan. Felt that he played so much football. In fact, he played a lot of football last season with Leyton Orient, and they of course got to the playoff final at Wembley. Just wanted to keep an eye on Ethan Galbraith, just 24 years of age, and making the step up obviously from League One to the Championship. So he took him out of the firing line in the last game against Leicester City, but he's back today. Edging towards that point, aren't we, where the manager may feel it's time to make a change. Yellers. This is Charles. Armstrong. Archer.
Southampton think. Put a lot of men behind the ball, just a low block. Just saying, well, you have to try and break us down. And at the moment, Swansea, especially in the second half, have done that.
Yanda. Southampton 0, Swansea 0. The Saints go again looking for a goal. She ends up. Edwards. And how would Bellis do? Quickly out to Adam Armstrong. Charles. Yellert with the ball in. Yanda slightly on his heels. Yellert again back in. Key with the header away. It's fallen really awkwardly here. With Bellis into space, but too much on that one. Wellington, I should say, was the man chasing. Well, they are subdued, aren't they, at the moment? A real sense of frustration or anger, you feel. It's been a case of game after game in the last 14 or so months, particularly here at St Mary's. Just 2 wins they've managed here in the league. With the other team they beat. 1 home win in the Premier League last season against Wrexham. David Phillips was saying earlier, came with 2 goals in stoppage time. Really got to get the home form sorted out if they've got any hopes of returning to the Premier League.
But the thing is, they've got to start scoring goals. That's where they're lacking at this moment in time.
Not been able to pick up the momentum, have they, of that tail end of the first half. Almeida set to come on for Swansea City. I imagine that would be for Vipotnik. But we'll get confirmation in a few moments' time. Vipotnik waits possibly to provide a telling swan song. And it goes towards him, but someone was offside.
We'll have to have a little look to see who is coming on. Is it going to be like for like? Looks like Vipotnik making his way. Just wonder sometimes with managers just take more of a gamble. Try and play two up top. Don't play four across the midfield, but Shane will just see that he wants to just make that change. Adamida from Southampton. Some good money. Got a penalty against Leicester in the last game. Knows where the net is. But the thing is, he needs a service to start off with.
Yeah, I'm sure we would have watched Vipotnik and wonder what he could have done with that service. In all honesty, probably not a lot, because there wasn't a lot of it for the Slovenian, who slops down back onto the bench. No one likes to be substituted, but he's modern football.
But also you've got to take into account as well, he has been on international duty as well. You have to go and manage these minutes.
Reading this week actually that the Premier League are hoping to have 6 substitutes in the future, which may or may not, if it goes through, filter down to the EFL as well. And look at the squads now in the EFL, they are unbelievably big compared to 10-15 years ago. Still mentioning it, the amount of quality players that he has to leave out of his 20. I think he was hinting probably it is just too big, almost unmanageable at times. Good ball forward to Armstrong. The flaggers got up, but Armstrong must have sensed it, but maybe just wanted to have the sensation of putting the ball in the back of the net again.
Yeah, it's one of the days where in the EFL or the Premier League that you had a squad of about 20 players, and that used to last you through the season. I'm not saying about my age, etc., but I can remember when I first started playing football, one substitute. So times have changed. The game's got bigger and better. And the thing is, with so many games as well being played, especially with the Premier League and those who get themselves into European qualification, you need a big squad.
Inusa stretching his legs again. Adamida goes into the penalty area hoping for a cross. He won't even get a corner. Yes, good point you make, because we've got some plenty of football coming up with midweek matches for both these sides. 3 midweeks before Christmas, and we know how busy Christmas is. So at the moment, Will Steele is maybe sensing his squad is too big, but you only need a few injuries, don't you? And then suddenly it's not big enough.
Yeah, and that's how you have to manage minutes. Sports scientists are coming to their own. The hard thing is, like I mentioned before, is that when they've been away on international duty, because I'm sure that Alan Sheehan would love to have started off with Eon, but because they're being out in South Korea, playing out in Seoul, as you're right to say, against Paraguay, didn't play against Brazil, but still, you've got to be thinking it's what, an 8-9 hour time zone difference. And I believe that he only came back, what, Thursday?
Galbraith. Inusa. Alan Sheehan compared to his last game here at Swansea interim. They were hammered 5-0. Swansea don't have a good record against Southampton. Here at St Mary's also lost 3-0 in January in the FA Cup. They will be pleased with the way things are going at the moment. Armstrong, Archer, Chienza. This is Wellington. Charles, Ronald. He clears over halfway. Now there, who has been at times a real threat going forward this season for Swansea, was basically part of the back line there, wasn't he? Jay Robinson looks like he's coming on for Southampton in a moment. Chienza, what he could do really was just try and keep it in play and get it into the 6-yard box, but there was no one in red and white anywhere near. Edwards falls backwards. This is Wood. Charles. Wellington. Back after an ankle injury this afternoon. Chienza. Good tackle by Franco. Referee just a couple of yards away. Perfect vision. Now Ronaldo, I should say. We'd love to Ronaldo out there. Okay, so a double change for Southampton. And as we highlighted, Jay Robinson is first to come on. And Yellert, who has impressed, I think, on his first start for Southampton this afternoon, on loan from Galatasaray. Only 2 substitute appearances before today, but he's certainly racked up a few kilometres down the flank. And Tom Fellows is the other player who's going to come on for Southampton. And it will be Cameron Archer, who will still, I'm sure, take that miss to bed with him, wake up with it tomorrow morning.
Well, I think the substitution for Yellert was one that they were going to make anyway, because I just saw him just pull up just moments before, just clutching his right quad. I think that was the right move. Anusa, who started off so well, not really had much since the opening 15 or so minutes.
Yeah, so a double change is coming on for Anusa, and Galbraith is being replaced by Malik Yalkoué, who's on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. Premier League club actually paid £6 million for him from Gothenburg. Galbraith just having a chat with his head coach Alan Sheehan. Getting his first touch. Scorer in South Korea's game against Paraguay recently. He'll hope that he can maybe replicate that here this afternoon. You feel that one goal might just be enough, even though we've got nearly 20 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppage time. This is key. With the clearance, still needs a bit of work from a Southampton point of view. Robinson wins the throw-in for the home team, but Swansea will be happy to try and keep them penned in there for the time being. It'll be a big point for them, keep them above the Saints in the Championship table.
You mentioned about the amount of drawn games as well that Southampton have had. They would be desperate to try and take all 3.
Yanda Fellows. Could he be the door opener for Southampton? Chienza. Fellows again. It's Wellington arriving, but it's easy again for Vigouroux. Well dispossessed Yanda. Josh Key.
I think that Josh Key will be more than happy at this moment in time to see that Chienza has moved over to the right flank. So a lot of possession here for Southampton once again. This is what you actually go and do with it. Not really seen a lot in the second half, have we? Before half-time, you'd have thought that they were going to go and get the opening goal with the opportunities and chances that they created.
Jay Robinson. The ball away. This is Ida. Makes the run. Can't stop him. I'm not sure that was the intention from Ronnie Edwards, but it worked. He's a match winner, potential match winner as well, isn't he, from a Swansea point of view. Be interesting to hear what he was told when he was sent on. Is it let's go and win this game, or is it protect what we have? Wellington over halfway for Southampton. They have to win this game, surely. Groans for Chienza. That's how much Southampton's performance has dipped in this second half.
Well, the thing is that, you know, you say that Southampton should really go ahead and get these 3 points, but I have a little look and think, well, what saves have Vigouroux actually made? He's not had to make great saves, has he?
Robinson to Chienza, who's just showing signs of maybe a bit of fatigue. New to English football. This is just his second start in the Championship.
I was looking at his stats and what he's actually done, Chienza, and it's not that long ago he was playing in the 5th tier of Swedish football, and then got picked up and spent the last few years in Germany. So you think how you look at him and think, well, if you're a non-league player, etc., you still got those chances, you still got those opportunities. When you see somebody like Chienza now playing in the Championship.
Just 27 years of age now. He's got plenty of miles in his legs, plenty of games. But just showing a bit of fatigue, but I would imagine he still will be reluctant to take him off because he has looked most likely man to create something for Southampton.
But I just wonder what the thought process of the manager was by changing him onto the other side, because he had a lot of success against Josh Key.
Robinson and Armstrong, and in. No, it's hit the post. Oh, that's extraordinary. Yanda thought that all he had to do was guide it over the line, but somehow it's hit the inside of the post, and Southampton powder puff in front of goal again. Is this to be an afternoon where they rue yet more missed chances at the start of their return to the Championship?
Well, obviously we'll see this one again, but I'll put my hand over my mouth just to say, well, I can't believe that has happened.
Charles trying to turn and shoot, but the ball ricochets off him. I mentioned it in the first half, there's sort of sense of deja vu around the ground after Archer's miss at the other end. And how about this one from Yanda? Oh, gets the upper 1-2 off the post.
You know, what he does really well, he follows up that shot from Adam Armstrong, which comes off Vigouroux. But I just think he goes with the wrong leg here. He goes with his right leg, but really he should go with the outstretch of the left. If he goes with the outstretch of his left, again, it's a tap-in.
Here they come again. The manager mentioned it, keep your head up, keep going, keep believing. When things don't go your way, he's felt that they're Shoulders have dropped in some matches. Hammers still behind them. Wellington, Robinson.
I think when you look at those three misses that we've seen so far, Archer, Armstrong, and now Yander, I bet it's no more than about 2 yards in total with those three attempts.
Fellows. He's done well. Can he pick someone out? He can't because Burgess was there. As we've remarked on a few times before in this game, there's not a lot of height in the Southampton strike force today. Fellows may have to try and get those crosses low or pullbacks. Charles. Well, it just appears to me that Shea Charles just wanted to just try and place that ball towards the far post rather than putting his foot right through the ball. Tries to take it a little bit too early, but once again Vigouroux out to his right hand side, very smart. See there with the graphic, 19 shots to the 4, but really when you think about it, the opportunities that they've had, as I mentioned, within about a yard of the goal, they've not put it to bed as such. But Swansea might be turning around and thinking, well, talk about a cat with 9 lives, you could just see Swansea going up the other end and nicking it. How many times have you seen that? Target incident. You don't include the 2 that hit the woodwork. But that will count for absolutely nothing if the scoreline remains as it is. Will be judged by results and results alone. If they don't find a goal, it will be just 1 win in their last 9 championship matches. The referee has blown up because the goalkeeper Vigouroux is down and in some discomfort.
There was a thing last year saying about goalkeepers when they're under immense pressure, the sides, about actually going down. It's just stop the play, take the heat off the game, because as we know that you'll have the physios coming across, they'll have a little look, they can't take the goalkeeper off the field of play. You turn around and say, well, this is sportsmanship. They might say so, but the Southampton fans will not be particularly happy with that. Gives an opportunity here as well for Alan Sheehan to have a chat with his Swansea City players. And all that little bit of momentum that Southampton had might just go out the window. But for me, they've just got to continue what they're doing. Damien Downs, for me, I think is the key if they want to try and get something up top. But in respect to Swansea, you'd have to turn around and say, yes, they've defended well. Southampton have to be a little bit more ruthless in front of goal. Dienza, I think, has been exceptional so far during the course of this game. Have a look at the touch map, all over the park. I say in the first half he caused Josh Key all sorts of problems. I'm sure that Key will be more than delighted to see him go onto the other flank. But you're thinking, well, is it a matter of time? Yes, there's only 8 minutes or so. But if Swansea come away with this, with a point, they'll be more than delighted.
They haven't drawn a game on the road yet, the Swans. 2 wins, 2 defeats. Robinson for Southampton. Well, he's cutting into the penalty area. Can he pick one of them out? Robinson. Well, we mentioned earlier the fact that their one and only win at St Mary's this season 2025 at St Mary's in the league came with two very, very late goals against Wrexham. Only need one at the moment against another team from Wales. Wood. Harwood Bellis. Chases, more in hope than expectation. Armstrong. Well, the referee, the flag has gone up on the far side, so offside was the decision. Jake Fulton is coming on for Swansea City, along with Caelan Casey. Ronaldo's had a relatively quiet afternoon, hasn't he? Departs. Not seen him in an attacking sense anyway. Fresh legs. Sure to be a fair amount of stoppage time in this game. Who's on a yellow card, is the other player to depart. Jay Fulton, well, he goes back to the arc, doesn't he, with Swansea City. Last throw of the dice for Southampton. Finazaz and Ryan Fraser. Not going to die wondering. Although still no sign of Damien Downs. He ends and departs. Saz, over 5 minutes plus stoppage time to make an impression. Ryan Fraser, one of those who was taken out of the team today. He's on for Wellington, the Brazilian, who's just returned from injury. Swansea, can they create something here? They've created a corner. Southampton fans will start to become a little bit jittery. Just has that horrible feeling, doesn't it? If you're a supporter of your team and you've seen them miss chance after chance after chance and it's still 0-0 with 5 minutes to go, just the nature of being a football fan is pessimism. On to take the corner for Swansea. And it goes towards the near post, and Ryan Fraser will try and get there, and out of the area it comes, but it's set to go back in with Key. Will pick it up. On with the ball in, good header by Edwards. Free kick to Southampton. Desperate to get hold of the ball and get it upfield as quickly as possible. Yeah, very important header from Edwards, as you're right to say. Just a cheap foul to give away. Not very often has Swansea been into the final third of Southampton. McCarthy's not really having to do an awful lot. Sometimes I've seen this time and time again where one side can't put the ball into the back of the net and the other just has one opportunity. They come away with 3 points. Edwards under pressure from Om. Fellows. Towards Armstrong. Come for Fraser, in fact. I don't think that was the intention, but they've got to throw in. That was a great ball from the Daz, wasn't it, over on that far side. Decent movement, but Swansea, enough players behind the ball once again. Shea Charles. Harwood Bellis. Edwards. Swansea happy with this at the moment. wins the header. Robinson. Injection of pace from teammates around him, but Swansea win the ball back. Yalkue Orzu just nipped the ball away and back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, good backtracking, wasn't it, from Yalkue? Very important, especially in that type of spine area. Gets himself back very, very quickly.
Key. Ida. Yalkue. Fulton. Such a periphery figure at the moment for Swansea City. Just one championship start this season. Has had injuries, but he's been on the bench in the last few games. Burgess. Franco happy to be patient. Franco again. Fulton.
Yeah, if there's one player that you want to come onto the park just to try and see Swansea over the line for a point, that's certainly Jay Fulton. Over the amount of years that he's been at Swansea City, straight away you just see with his experience the way that he's just able to get onto the ball, do things simple. I think it's the best bit of possession that Swansea have had for a little while. Just give him a little bit of heart.
From Southampton at the moment. And he goes towards the edge of the penalty area, and the header was a powerful one. It was dealt with comfortably by McCarthy.
Well, I think it's from Caelan Casey, isn't it? Number 26. Just rises above Howard Bellis. Again, very comfortable for McCarthy.
A few efforts on target this afternoon, but they won't care if they head back to South Wales with the points. Charles. And Fraser.
Official has indicated a minimum of 7.
7 minutes of stoppage time. Tom Fellows gets the ball into the area, but it's Casey away. Fraser up against Key, digs out a cross, but all groans around St Mary's. You wonder what the reaction will be if they don't find a goal in the remaining minutes of this game.
They've huffed and puffed, haven't they? But not being able to get that final touch into that Archer, Armstrong, Yander.
Well, he's got to find a solution, and he's got to find it quickly. They've got a game on Tuesday night. They go down to Bristol City, and then away to Blackburn Rovers. Not easy matches, particularly the way they're playing at the moment and performing in front of goal. The throw in, flat and low. Howard Bellis away, back to the South Korean. Running at Fellows. It's a good ball in as well. Now once more it's Casey there. Had an effort a few minutes ago and once more stood head and shoulders above even those previously dominant Southampton centre-halves.
Dion does really well, doesn't he? Gets himself not quite towards the byline, but just produces a decent cross. As you're right to say, Caelan Casey's come on. He's had a couple opportunities. Unfortunately for himself and Swansea, just gone a little bit. Well, I said the first one was comfortable save for McCarthy, and now that one just away from the upright.
to go. Well, a goal for Southampton really would change the mood dramatically, not just today, but you feel possibly for their season. It might be the moment that sparks, because it has been pretty flat so far this season for them. The supporters being generally on board this afternoon, starting to get frustrated that the ball isn't going forward quickly enough. Bellis and Fraser. It's a criticism of Sir Martin, wasn't it, at times, that they spent too much time building up. This one is a bit more old school as it goes long to Tom Fellows, but then the downside of that is that they lose control of the ball.
The problem is that if you're going to play those long balls, you've got to go and play them into the channels, because it was no good when you had Archer and Armstrong up top, because they're only, not being disrespectful, they're only 5'8" at their tallest. And that's why I was a little bit surprised that Damien Downs, who scored goals at Cologne last year, has actually been given an opportunity.
A recent game against Hull City, but didn't exactly take the opportunity with both hands. But it is one of the problems we spoke about before. You can have a too big a squad, and there's just so many options, aren't there, for him from the bench. But appreciate he is a different option in terms of height. Wood hesitated there. Key, the right back, is the furthest man forward, which suggests to Swansea feel that they might be able to steal something here from St Mary's in the final few minutes of this game.
Yeah, professional foul there from Jay Fulton. Knows exactly what he's doing. They've picked up a few yellow cards so far. Unfortunately for Swansea, no one has picked up a red. I really want to go down to 10 then, but once again you see Southampton on their front foot.
Yanda had probably the best opportunity, along with Cameron Archer hitting the post. Fellows with the ball in. Walking apples. It's all so easy for him. How many times have we seen him do that this afternoon?
The other thing that he's got to take into account, gone are the days where they could just fall on the floor. They've now got 8 seconds. I can't say when he was in possession of the ball. So he just has to be a little bit careful.
Into the final minute. Southampton need some late drama, like they produced to register their only home win of the season against Wrexham on day one of the season here. This is Charles. This surely will be the last opportunity as Zaz puts it into the penalty area. Harwood Bellis is there. Burgess wins the header comfortably. Edwards has got possession of the ball. Knows where it needs to go. Good slips. He's fouled, isn't he? Yes, he is. So an opportunity on showing his frustration there. Getting a bit of a telling off as well from Franco.
Well, I'm not surprised as well. Doesn't have to come in that quickly. Just have to stand his ground. But this is the last chance to lose, as far as I'm concerned, for the home side. I'm sure whatever happens, this will be going shortly.
Southampton with the last knockings of this game. Desperate for a goal. In the ball goes away, but Yanda with the shot, it's blocked. And there's the full-time whistle. Moves around St Mary's. Will still not having the introduction to English football that he'd hoped. It's just one win in 9 championship matches now for the Saints. They remain in the bottom half of the table, and Swansea much the happier with this draw. Adam Armstrong had opportunities today. Southampton should have won this, no doubt about that. In particular, Casper Yander will wonder how he managed to hit the post from just a couple of yards out. Cameron Archer also squandered a golden opportunity in the first half, and the Swansea supporters are the happier. They didn't really see their side create too many opportunities, but at the other end they were indebted to some really poor finishing yet again from Southampton. More disappointment at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Swansea City 0.
Southampton and Swansea, both two teams struggling to find some form lately. That 0-0 draw puts Swansea at 11th and both still Southampton at 14th after match day 10. There's so much still to happen today across CBS Sports properties. We will have the build-up to 5 EFL matches set to kick off at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by the reigning Serie A champions Napoli's trip to Torino at noon Eastern. Then speaking of champions, NWSL on CBS sees the rematch of last season's final as the Washington Spirit takes on the Orlando Pride at 12:30 p.m. Then later this afternoon, the Serie A crew will have the lead up to today's marquee match in Italy as Roma hosts Inter at 2:45 exclusively on Paramount.